special guest here today. So I'm so excited that you are all coming in, and we're just going to keep on trucking here. Hey, if the moderators are popping in and out, I would really appreciate it if somebody would pop on over to Chanda Sparkle's Facebook and share it over to Chanda Sparkle's Astrological Soul Codes, because for some reason it's showing me an error, but we're just going to keep going. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and we're happy that you're here on this Friday eve of Saturn about to go retrograde. Granddaddy Saturn is sitting still in the sky. And did you get all your shit taken care of today? I hope you did. I was full of all kinds of like financials and, dealing with tags and dealing with, insurance stuff and healthcare stuff. I was like, but I'm that kind of person that I just wait until the very end and go from there, because, that's how I roll with it. Anyway, I see many of you are popping in on the chat. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all of the loving things, get it out there so that people will come and join us, because this is the heart frequency. Cosmic Convos was literally birthed a couple of years ago in my higher consciousness. And really the way I see this little show is it is all about projecting that heart frequency through the tone of the voice of myself and the multidimensional being that I am sitting with. Having just a free conversation about whatever comes up, and at the end, so start thinking now if you have a question for me, or if you have a question for Jessica or for myself. We will take questions the last 15 minutes, and we'll take them in order that we see them. So remember, if you start putting them in there now, the chat's just rolling, because I see all of your chats from all the locations coming in through on one massive stream. So remember, have your question ready about 15 minutes before. This is just a little hour-long conversation, and we're going to get galactic. It's time to get galactic with it. So I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Jess Black. When I first saw her, I thought, oh my gosh, this chick is full of nothing but pure gold. Like, she's a golden ray of sunshine. She is a light beam, I tell you. Jess Black is here, and she is an ARThlete. Well, I don't know how she says it. She's going to say she's a very athletic person, okay? But she puts artistry into her athleticism in a multidimensional, very cool way. She was born and raised in Houston, Texas, a Texas sister, and she's in Chicago, hanging out in the Windy City now. She combines her background of gymnastics, dance, film, action sequences to bring a multidimensional pop to the creative projects with local friends and new playmates. She's always co-creating along with everyone. You can see her out there on Facebook doing her thing. She's a big animal lover. She takes care of animals. She has a deep soul connection, and her passion is ignited through a unique spark in others through loving interactions, and even sometimes hands healing, card pulling. She's also connected locally to her grid, so she's a grid worker just like me. Rose medicine, singing, galactic ED, ship photography. So that's something that's very interesting we're going to talk about. And some of her must-haves and most recent endeavors are her 3D expressions. She now enjoys working with children, and she blossoms a mobile party business called KAWAAI Craft Club. So basically, this is named after the Chihuahua KAWAAI picture, okay? So look, she brings all kinds of wonderful, amazing ways to express her multidimensionality and help to ignite the grid, ignite everyone she's around, just by doing her everyday things, because guess what? Yeah, she's a Virgo, so she rules that day-to-day process. So I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Jessica Black. But first, we got to hear from Frank. And welcome, Jessica. How
well. How are
Yay.
you?
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're here. We've actually tried to do this a couple of times. It looks like everybody else is saying hi here in the chat. Let me make sure everybody can be seen real quick.
Soleil,
There we go.
hey.
Yes, yes. Donna Owens is here. Kelsey is here. Oh, yes. Karen. Hi,
Hey,
Karen.
friends.
Yes. Amy Ulrich. Yes, yes. She's leaving for work, but she hopes all of you are enjoying cancer season. Yeah, how has cancer season been for you? Hi, Tammy Lynn out of Niagara Falls, and Anthony is here. Thank you, brother, for joining us. So tell us, how has cancer season been treating you?
Whew. Well, it's been very galactic. Um, a lot to do with the animals. And so I was laughing when you called me in because you said, we're going to hear from Frank. And as you were so beautifully expressing my
Uh-oh. She'll come back. She'll come
bio
back.
and everything about
Yeah.
me, you mentioned my love and connection with animals. And when you said, oh, am I here?
Yeah, you're here. You just
when
there's a delay.
you mentioned
Remember,
my
there's
love
a delay.
Okay. When you mentioned my love of animals, I recalled earlier in the week you had posted a bunch about your kitty cat that had passed away and crossed over. And thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable and sharing your heart and allowing all of us to be a part of that has been very special. Especially because I'm not a big cat person. I'm a dog owner. However, since then, the cat consciousness has been coming into my life in many different ways. But I was laughing because you said, we're going to hear from Frank. And that's the name of my dog that had crossed over 2 years ago. And so, yeah, right when we were entering the show, I was thinking about pet mediumship and how you had so beautifully mentioned that you had a channel that you yourself were going to be diving into more pet mediumship after your kitty's crossing over. So, very emotional cancer season. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. And thank you for bringing Baby Kitty forth. Baby Kitty was very much a multi-dimensional cat. You know, this is a cat that was completely deaf, couldn't hear anything, and showed up right after my husband had passed. So I knew my husband had sent him and got many validations thereafter in the years later. And he was just such an amazing soul. And in that last 5 weeks, when we were really knowing that it's getting closer to time, he and I did some very unique things together. And he told me specifically, he said, "You will talk to more." And I've never not been an intuitive when it comes to animals, but it's never been a directive. And then now all of a sudden different things are happening, like all of the doves that live under my deck. Did you see they all brought in all of those like massive amounts of twigs as though they were going to build a nest on the back porch after they realized it was like 2 or 3 days after baby was gone, he wasn't out there hanging out anymore. And they just knew that and he's also, and I haven't really announced this, but since we're bringing it forward and this is an intuitive flow conversation, do you mind if I share something with you?
Oh, yeah. Go on, sister. Go on.
Well, come to find out, I'd had many years of the condensation issue in this house. Finally, so I got to know this AC guy and his wife, and both of them were Scorpios like me. Anyway, long story short, she calls me up and she's like, I really didn't want to say anything because baby kitty just passed. She goes, but I need to send you a picture. She sends me a picture of a Bengal cat, which that's a whole story besides itself. I've always loved Bengals for years and years and years. I said, I'm going to have a Bengal beach bed and breakfast. That was like years ago, 20 years ago. Anyway, she shows me this Bengal cat. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. She goes, you know what her name is? And I said, no. She goes, her name is Baby Smitten. Mine was Baby Kitty. Hers is Baby Smitten. And she goes, and I didn't want to say anything because I know it's sensitive, but I'm just getting the hint. I need to tell you, this baby, she's a hoe. She got out and she got knocked up by this big, massive white tabby, a white tabby. And she said, I promise you, this is a huge, muscular, like 23-pound cat. she goes, and I was so upset with her until I realized that your baby kitty was crossing, and now I know why. Because baby kitty's in the womb right now. He'll reincarnate and come back, and so I get to pick the litter, she says. You know, so it's all in cycles. It's all in cycles,
Yeah.
is it not? So yeah, animal
So
communication.
cool.
So what? Tell me more about your animal communications. What is something that really stands out for you that was really, you know?
I would say deer. So the deer have been the most potent consciousness that I've come in contact with. Since I was a child, I've been in the woods. I was a woods kid, barefoot kid, always playing with the fairies and in that realm. And that's where I feel most at home. And coming back into my remembering recently, I've been spending probably a majority of my time in the local woods. And like you mentioned, doing grid work. A couple of years ago, I was introduced to the deer medicine through the spirit of the Native American woman, White Calf Buffalo Woman, who presented to me through a prophetic dream, which led to, it was probably a 1.5 year long initiation that I did not realize was that until afterwards, like we normally, do. Anyway, that has to do with a deer because when I was going through this, part of the initiation involved an incident I had where my car hit a deer and the deer crossed over. And I had to call a friend, and she's a cosmic shaman and acupuncturist who recently crossed over. She passed away from bone cancer. But when she was alive, it was at the Johnson Mounds. It's a sacred mound site here it's like 20 minutes from where I live in Chicago. And I called her and she helped me, because you're a death doula, so you're aware of how to help spirits through the realm. And with my awakening, it was very quick and fast, and it began in 2020. So I've never really had any training in any of those things or desire to do them. However, they would show up in my life, and it was undeniable through my psychic channels and who I am as a starseed that, this was my mission, this is what you're doing, and it's always been very clear. However, I'm not naturally in my 3D human drawn to those things. Anyway, long story short, she helped me cross this deer over, and then since then they would approach me in the woods and give me messages through their eyes and telepaths and connect me with the druid energies that are in the woods by me and the trees, and just kind of give me what I call side missions and things to do and places to work on. And it's fun. It's all been very fun for me.
Yeah, and it's interesting you bring forth the deer medicine because, June is the month of the deer and the eagle in shamanic wisdoms,
Two-step June!
Yes. So, and I recently saw a deer, because we have lots of deer out here on this little bitty sandbar that I live on here, and I recently saw one, and I thought, oh, there's my June deer, and I hadn't seen one, yet. I think I maybe saw one back in the winter months, but I hadn't seen any for this spring and summer. So that's cool. But okay, now I want to ask you about how, so you're doing stuff with children, and you are igniting the light within children through this creative play. I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah. So it all started a long time ago, actually, in Houston. My first job was teaching birthday parties with kids. And I've always loved it and have been drawn to children. And it kind of just came full circle after COVID when I didn't get the vaccine. I was told I couldn't work anymore. And of course, it was all divine and beautiful. that I stopped working in the Hollywood film industry and was led back to my passion. The most profound and cool thing that I found about the kids, which the inspiration was my karate coach. Her name's Master Mary Tracy. Hey, shout out to you,
You know karate?
Master
Hold on,
Mary
hold
Tracy.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You're a karate champion?
Yeah.
You're a karate kid?
I have one gold medal, but yeah, after COVID,
I did not know this. How cool.
Yeah. So when I was doing stunt woman work in the film industry, I was training in real life as well for boxing and karate, and yeah, I love combat.
Well, okay, so you did stunt,
but anyways, I was
stuff,
inspired.
So that naturally just falls into karate, boxing. What else do you do? Like, do you do like the Tarzan and Jane going across and all that stuff, right? Like you're like totally in it.
Everything.
Oh, it's so fascinating.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's cool too because Chanda, I realized after when I got my first Akashic reading that I was drawn to the stunt woman industry because it felt so random. Like I was coaching boxing. It was 6 years ago, and my coworker happened to be in the film industry, and I didn't think it was interesting at all. Like I could have gotten into it at that point, and I was like, oh, whatever. But then a few years later, I was bored personal training people, and I thought, you know what, I could do that. I could do that. And so he helped me and trained me and got me all the connections and politics to get in. But what I'm getting at is, oh my God, what was I getting at?
I don't know. Just keep going.
Yeah, that he, what's it called? I was just drawn to doing what I'm naturally good at. Yeah. And it turned out that every job that I received, in the short period that I was working, which was 2 years, was a direct reflection of a trauma that I had been through in my real life. So I was able to look back on my film career and identify, once I was done with it, through videos and, you know, working through my DNA clearing and ancestral clearing and all these things that we do, that I was able to manifest my shadow in the form of work. And it was kind of cool.
Being able to transmute the shadow through your work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Know? Really being able to live up in that, but not be in that. It's almost like you were able to take a multifaceted, like different aspects of self on the shadow side and work through that stuff with your stunt woman stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that
make
sense?
It was so alchemizing to know that I could see that shadow version of myself, love her, and say, wow, you created that, and now your higher self can see that you created that and how beautifully it fit perfectly into the puzzle to make me who I am today. Yeah.
I love it. And so how did that morph into taking care of children, doing the children's parties, and then how did that, from there, you said that you're doing more of the animal communication, or was it all just one big bundle? Like me, I've got multiple hats. I don't like a lot of labels, but they're like this, you know?
Yes.
So I have a feeling you're the same way.
Yes. Yeah. It's like I call it a zip file where so many things in one. And I work in that way as well. It's like a human download. When you're in our presence, it's like whatever's needed in that moment, we shape shift into that and provide it. So that's always really fun. But with the kids, what's very cool, Chanda. I know what I was talking about, the karate and Sensei Mary. So she opened up a kid's business and needed my help. And so I started helping her every weekend, and the parents started enjoying who I am and asking me to come to their homes and do private parties. And that's how I began my business, KAWAAI Craft Party. The coolest things...
Yeah.
KAWAAI, which means little and cute in Japanese, which to me also speaks to the zip file, because we are 1,000,001 things in this one human, and it's like explosive. And so that's what I see in children, and they inspire me. And the coolest thing about the kids right now, and it started about a year and a half ago, I was in the ball pit with the kids and I made up a game where I had them pick planets. I sat on the edge of the ball pit and I would have the birthday girl or boy sit next to me, and I'd have all the kids in there and we would, okay, put on your seatbelt. And it would kind of be like Miss Frizzle, like Magic School Bus vibes. Like I would just get them going. Yeah. But what I noticed was, because I'm not heavy into the astrology, but for me, it's so fun to synchronize with it and notice in my real life. Kind of at the end of the day, what I do is I check the astrology to check if I was right. Like, okay, because nature will tell you the astrology, the way the water is, the way the deer came to you. Like if you were a Native American, they'd be like, it's June, you know? Yeah. But anyway, these kids, they, like all of us, we naturally know the astrology, but it just blew my mind how when we would play this game week after week, I treated it like an experiment. They always knew when Mars was direct, who it was direct with, they would tell me. And I would notice, because I'm so Virgo analytical, I'm always taking in all the pertinent data to me, which is what's shiny, sparkly, what hits my heart. And it's what they're saying, because it's right. I'm like, man, wow. So I know that's so beautiful, because they're all little star seeds, and yes, they're going to be teaching all of us very soon.
Yes, absolutely. And okay, now tell me about, I know that you also take care of animals, and you sent me a picture that I used on the cover, and you're holding your little pup, and tell me about your little pup, because he looks pretty cool and pretty magical too.
Yeah, that's KAWAAI. He's the love of my life. I call him my sun, my moon, and my stars. He's 8 years old, and I got him when I was at the tail end of my first really hard relationship. And I was living in Boston with an individual who it just didn't work out. And towards the end of it, we got the dog, and the address that I got KAWAAI at was 333 Haverhill Avenue. And it was important at that time because Spirit was begging me to leave this person. I was getting devil card every day. And, you know, devil isn't a bad card, but codependency, like I knew what it meant, you know, and I was denying it. But then the 333 coding was brought in for me during that time. Yeah. And it was unmistakable. It was my awakening for sure. So I see 333 20 times a day. And I end up getting him at this address and finally deciding to step back into my power and leave this individual and move to New York City. So I moved there with KAWAAI, and ever since then, he doesn't remind me of a dog. He's very much a multidimensional little jokester. Like he has a trickster energy. And I know. And he sings, so he's very much a siren. I can have him do singing on command, and I know it's to, you know, retune my body and to make me laugh. Yes. Yeah. I'm someone who I'm very bubbly and happy, but if you look at pictures of me when I was younger and home videos, so grumpy, like mad to be here. And I remember, you know, very, very vividly just being like that meme you see with the baby, like, you reincarnated me again. Like I always had felt that way. So Spirit bringing things to me to bring fun and levity has been a huge part of my journey. Most recently with the animals, Moby Dick, so I have a second dog. He is a 2-year-old Australian Shepherd mix. We adopted him 2 years ago, and he has these crazy eyes. We call him the Oracle, and it's like one is blue, and then one is blue with a brown dot and some green, and I'll just stare into his eyes, and he'll download, I don't know, all of the instructions I'm needing, or
You're receiving the
telling me,
code.
yeah, just receiving the
Yeah.
code, telling me where to
Yeah.
go, what to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think we all do that with our animals and pets all of the time. And that's cool. But most recently with wild animals and communication, that has been the coolest, because I can use my voice to call birds like hawks or eagles to my
Do
field.
it.
And then
Do it.
I
Do it.
can, yeah.
Do it. Do it. Do it. How would you do it? Show us how you call in the hawks and the birds.
Well, I don't know if it's something I consciously do. It's more when I'm out
Like you
there,
don't have a
something
sound.
happens
Like you don't
to
have
or
a sound
through
that you
me.
make. Do you have a sound that you make?
I mean, it's deep, it's guttural, yeah, but it comes like through me, but I have to be outside, like in the elements, because then everything starts moving and I can move it. And I've noticed that you can call them back, and then they'll move and bring another one and then show you their energy, which for the past 2 years for me, the hawks have been showing me just the single hawk, and then they'll bring a second hawk through, and then they'll merge, and they're showing me the merging energy and the coalescing and collapsing of our energy in our toroidal field. So they're giving me pretty cool downloads and information through watching their patterning, and I just love videoing them, and they love to be videoed. So I'll get everything out. And as far as the extra dimensional ships and things like that, those started showing up through the birds and through the hawks and eagles. So that was cool, because I would look back at the videos and drag through and look up at the top corner of what I thought was like a regular hawk video, and I would see a sphere, like a metal sphere, and the consciousness would say, "We are da da da, and this is da da da," and I would be like, "Oh." And it always just makes perfect sense. And they say, well, we show up as this bird not to scare you. And, you know, this is something that is palatable for the human to learn, because it's just who we are. It's our future selves meeting us is what they have taught me. So nothing to fear.
Thank you for that share. You know, I don't know, it was about a year ago, I started calling in the manatee. The manatee showed up in dream. It was just all of a sudden very present. I started getting pictures. Friends were sending me a picture. A friend of mine was sending a picture of manatee. Anyway, and I really kind of did it and then let it go. And I have a season every year where I'm using whale sounds and dolphin sounds. I'm bringing in the waters. I work a lot with the oceans and the waters. And so, long story short, about, I don't know, around February, I guess it was, maybe March, a manatee was here in the canal system. That never has happened in South Texas. Like, that was like, it was in the canal system all the way. I mean, who knows, from Florida, whatever, because we've had extremely warm waters this year. Warm waters very, very early, too. So, fast forward, I'm like, okay, I'm calling in the manatee. So I literally purchased this big hammock to go down there and hang over the canal waters. Because a lot of my energy work, I'll do it out there, you know, on the deck, because I've got the flow of all the canal waters right below me. And I had this whole thing trying to get into that thing, and I finally got in it. But there was just all this stuff that happened. But what came to me was, I need to put the green light. The green light, which is for your heart chakra. And so I got my guy, who's the local pirate. Like, literally, it's the mermaid and the pirate. That's their job. Wow. That's what they do. And I called the pirate up, and I'm like, look, I need a big green light put in my canal, and I want the biggest one you can find. And he found it. It took a long time for it to show up. I was like, what is this thing? It's been like a month. Anyway, finally, yesterday was the day that the pirate showed up and put the green light in the water. So here I'm like, woo! And you should have seen how. I don't know if you saw the reel, but this is how they put it in the water. They zip tied that thing, almost cussed, zip tied that thing to a big old round radiator or whatever. One of those big round, I can't remember what it's called, something that goes on your car. And he said, it's off my old truck. He goes, it's off my own truck. And I'm like, well, welcome to Texas. And he tossed that thing off in the water, and it's perfect. It's not going to go anywhere. It's a 50-pound piece of metal that it's strapped to, and it's right there in the canal, and it lights up 360 degrees, huge green light. So now I'm pulling back in on my dolphin calling and my manatee calling. You know, really pulling in on that and working with pulling, because I'm going to bring the dolphins to me. They have been seen a couple of times. I've seen them twice. I've lived here almost 6 years. I've seen them twice in the canal. But it's been like early morning or something. But I want to get them over to me in the evening, and I want them to play in my green light, and I want to receive some of that medicine.
Yes.
Medicine. Yes. So that's what I'm working on right now. And it's already done, right?
So it is done. When you're saying that, I see those two pink dolphins that they saw off the shore of North Carolina last week. And I could see how, coming from North Carolina, they could easily go to the Gulf, especially with the warm water. Yeah. And that green light you got shining, it's huge. It's big.
It is. And I just, you know, see, and this is the thing. I think if there was anything that I could say to, you know, if you're wanting to connect more in with animals, and I'm sure that you'll probably agree with me, is that just follow the instinct. If there's a pulse, you know, we all get that pulse when we're ready to follow our guidance, right? You get the guidance and you follow the pulse. You get the guidance and you follow the pulse. When it comes to animal communication, even, you know, communicating with your own guides, communicating with everything. But for me, I had to get really fine-tuned with that process with Baby. He was doing much different things. Like, he would crawl up right on the center of me, whereas before, our whole life, he always laid to the side of me. But he was up here, and we were like, and I was doing my, what was it? It wasn't this one, but I was doing the whole, and then I would do his head. And as he crossed, when she gave him the shot, I just started this back and forth to his head as he's crossing.
Wow.
So I know he's going to return. You know, I know he's going to.
Yeah.
And this is why I was, you know, yes, I was sad, but it didn't affect me as badly as maybe some would be affected, just because I've already been like given validation. The next morning I heard his nails tap, 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 tap on the tile. So anyway, I digress, but I feel like anytime you're trying to communicate, it starts with that instinct, that spark, that deep down, like, I know I need to do this. Follow the guidance. And then when you follow the guidance, then everything starts to unveil itself. And you give that time to allow it all to come to you, right? I don't know about you, but I'm lit right now.
Me too. You know, it's very wild to me that you mention, and you know, you say you digress, but everything's perfect, because what you're mentioning with the quartz and the forehead, just 2 hours ago, I was taking a salt bath, and I have some Arkansas quartz on the edge of my bath, and I was trying to pick, you know, which one I wanted to work with. And normally I never work with my face, but today I felt called to get the clearest and most tiny, sharpest one. And it felt like I was doing some kind of psychic cosmic surgery on my face. Like I was scraping my whole face today with it. And just, that's amazing.
Psychic
it's
surgery
like Kitty's, sharing the cord cutting magic is what Kitty's doing. It's awesome.
Well, and also, okay, what else am I missing? Oh, let's talk about you. Now, I didn't bring your art up like on this thing, so I can't show it today, but I want to talk about like this art. Tell me more about this art that you do.
Well, my life is pretty much my art. So before in 2020, I would consider doing the stunt work and the videos as my art, which it is, and it was. However, where I'm at today is more the art of living. Performing was a big deal for me my whole life. And um, like I said earlier, with the transmuting through manifesting these jobs, and working in that way was very physical. And it was taxing on my body, and I ended up injuring myself. And spirit forced me into stillness for about 3 years. I believe I had some concussions, and I had a neck injury that pretty much put me out. And it like disassembled my mind essentially, which was great because I did go through a lot of programming. Yeah, when I was working in Hollywood, there was a lot of dark because I'm a light worker, and I manifested all the jobs through numerals and energy, and it was very conscious, my entry into that world. I just didn't know it would end so poorly for me, having exorcisms and psychic surgery, and just not knowing the complete control I was under for probably a year and a half. I didn't know until a friend from Soulology, thank God, Julianne, hi, I love you, let me know that she had gone through a similar experience. And Paula Simone, hello, another awesome cosmic shaman, helped me have these ET implants removed and everything from Hollywood that, I guess was like a temporary hold.
How long was that process? Like, what was it a whole 3-year process to remove the implants, or when did they actually start removing your implants? And you did it, but you said you had some assistance, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I would say it's been like a 2.5-year process because I had a Kundalini awakening at the same time that I was still under possession, MK Ultra programming, because I just thought I had an injury or something was just inherently wrong with me. I wasn't really on my positivity energy journey at that time. So yeah, Paula went in. I went to my friend's house in Boston, and because I had a safe space there where I could do it, and I believe it was like an activation of removing the implant. So it took quite some time because it had a lot to do with my family lines and contracts I had made that I didn't want to let go of.
Right.
Yeah, so it's all beautiful and perfect because now I can, I don't know, help others, and I just have a lot of clarity with that. So.
Well, because you were able to get through all of that. I can only imagine. I mean, I've never been through that whole situation, but I've heard of it, and I honor you for coming through all of that. But you know what? That makes you extremely gifted to where you can align with others. Have you been able to align with others that have had similar experience?
I feel like it's more synchronistically. I haven't so much sought out. I've had people suggest programs and things like that, but I'm such an experimenter in my own life. And at that point in time, a couple of years ago when it was deactivated, I was very much into not trauma bonding and really taking care of my own, and not moving into spaces where, because it's really common to have groups where instead of having a free share, it's more trauma bonding and creating more of those structures and systems that aren't open, flowing, and sovereign. So yeah, it was kind of a hermit journey. I was very much hermit. Only the past few months I've come out of my shell for sure.
Well,
because it makes you guarded.
Yes, I know. I've been pulling at you. Come on, let's go. I'm so glad.
Yeah, well, because even after it's over, when you're still working through those things, like a year after I had the deactivations, I was on Soulology Network, and I still had, I guess, a sniff of that Hollywood energy on me, and a woman reached out to me and I asked me to be on her show, like as a mainstay. She was from Hollywood, and there's no right or wrong, but the experience was just really interesting in that she was different than she presented, and it was a learning experience where it got very, I don't know, 4D. 4D, very shadow wars, very just interesting
Astral
energy.
Yeah.
And I don't really
your
mess in
dog
those
agrees.
realms. Huh?
I said, and your doggy agrees.
Yes.
Let's see him. Hi. Hi, KAWAAI.
Say hi, Kikas.
Hello. Oh, Enoshe. Ona kiddo. She's, he. It's a boy? It's a boy.
Yeah, he's a boy.
He's a beautiful
You want him to sing?
Yes. Sing, KAWAAI.
Okay.
Sing. Yes.
Here we go.
Let's see. He can sing on command. Let's go. Yay.
We call those his Icaros.
Yay.
Oh, you know what? One very cool thing about the pet mediuming that I didn't say about KAWAAI is that at a point in time last year, I was asking telepathically the dogs, what galaxy are you from? And immediately, my dog Moby said he's from Sirius A. He had a way he says it. He goes, I'm from Sirius A.
Hey.
He's like, there's Sirius A, B, and C. He's Sirius A. But KAWAAI would not tell me. Like, he was just zip. And then one day I went to my neighbor's house. They were out of town and I was getting their mail, and I felt called to sit down in this chair. So I'm sitting there and the bookshelf calls me. I'm like, okay. I look, it's a Stars and Planet book. And I say, you know what? I'm going to ask this book right now, what galaxy is KAWAAI from? Because I had to know, like I was very intent on it. And I opened up the book. The Sombrero Galaxy. You cannot make it up. The Chihuahua.
The Sombrero,
is from the Sombrero.
Galaxy? Yes, I love that. That's awesome.
It's a thing.
Awesome. Yes, it is a thing. I 1000% believe it.
Like,
I really do.
I'm looking at my...
Oh,
is there a question?
Yeah, that's what we're going into right now. That's what I was about to say is, hey guys, we're getting towards the last part of this little cosmic convo. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments and we'll take a few questions. Oh, look, we've already got one here ready to go. Thank you from Amy Ulrich out of Washington State, my dear moderator and sister. Where's she at? Where'd she go? I lost her. Okay, hold on. Here she is. What is the SIRIUS portal, and is it significant to connect to its energy? Isn't that interesting? She asked that question earlier, and then you were just talking about how your dog was telling us about how he's from Sirius A, the Sombrero planet. And, you know, I mean, so like, and here we are with this question. So the question again, and I'm going to give this one to you because I know it, but I want to hear what you say. What is the SIRIUS portal, and is it significant to connect to its energy? From Amy Ulrich out of Washington.
Well, I love that your name is Amy and it's Sirius A that we were talking about.
Right.
I'm not going to act like I can answer that question very clearly. Connecting to the energies of, from my heart. I would say that we all present multidimensional aspects of ourselves, and they reveal in their own and your divine timing their origins and how that's applicable to your life purpose and your soul contract that you chose when you came here. Mine obviously has to do with my dog. and I am learning word spells and creation energy and seeing creation energy through patterning in dogs and pets and animals and telepathy and where my excitement is drawing me. So I would say the SIRIUS portal for me, and it will be different for everyone, has to do with high technology. That's what Moby teaches me, and I feel the animals attuning me to the higher technology that is all around us, that we breathe in through our heart space and through just how we express. Did that answer your question at all? I'm not really sure
Yes,
like what it
bravo. That was a
was.
wonderful answer. Beautiful channel. I thank it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Amy
Mm.
Faith, Amy Faith, she said, my dog is over here staring at me like, where is that coming from? Whenever KAWAAI started singing with you, and you have a beautiful singing voice, by the way. Very beautiful singing voice. And there's Ray Ray. She's in the house. There she is. There's
Ray
Ray Ray.
Ray. Hey,
Hi,
hey, Ray
Ray
Ray.
Ray. Oh my gosh.
Your
Okay, so
daughter, Amber.
yes, thank you, Amber, and thank you, Ray Ray, for being here. I see you guys. I see you popping in the chat. So, Sirius, well, we have the Syrian wars that most of us were part of. I know I was. And, that I feel like is like a mecca. So the Sirius portal is just like where we can all merge together as all different kinds of star seeds, as all different kinds of beings, off planet entities. And I feel like I see it like a mecca. Sirius, A, B, C, all of it. The whole area is like a mecca. And I see it like it's a station in, higher dimensional realms of all of us where we're able to all be accepted. Because we fought for that area. We fought for it. It wasn't always that way. And we feel when you connect, Amy, to answer your question, just feel like you have won the battle. When you're connected with a Sirius portal, it's about winning the battle because you've already overcome. There's nothing to overcome, my love. You've already done it. You've already done and won. And so just connect in knowing that you have that pride, but you have that knowingness about you that you can come into anything and you can take over anything. Take over? Okay, so you can take over anything you choose because we were taken over back then as well. Or up then, down then, or whenever when was, because all when is now. So I hope that helps too. I'll add that. Let that come on through. So Amy says she feels homesick sometimes. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I don't get that way so much anymore because I'm really starting to enjoy and embrace the reality even in the hard times. I'm really finding that I'm able to ebb and flow and still realize that all of creation is creation. Even the lowest of low, darkest of dark is still creator. And when we get that sometimes plays out in your life to perfection, it actually does assist us to move through those moments in the realization of being the observer of the self and opening up like a tree, but also coming in to be steady and then branching down like the roots. I often see myself as a tree. When I start going through stuff, I've got to be the tree, remembering that the tree is connected to everything, and everything is connected to the tree. But the tree stays stable in the center, but it branches out up high and it releases down low. And when you can just follow that flow, you seem to be able to get through these tough times because it's really not an easy world. This has been a big challenge, this world. I know that there are other worlds that are much easier, that are more pleasant, and people all live in a heart coherence, and there is no need to debate anything or worry about this or that or my side or your side because everybody's in such heart coherence that they literally just know the right way. that's where I want to see us, a utopian society. I'd like to see that for all children. And I feel like we'll get there really quick because we're really accelerating the hell out of the matrix right now, you know. I mean, really, just the recent events of the insanity last night, you know, that woke up a good at least 500,000 to a million more people. I would hope that this is all a simulation and everything's, you know, pretend, you know, and even you know, you can look at that life that way, you know. Um, I think there's a plethora of different ways that we can look at all of it, but we are still all part of that as well, right?
Yeah. Makes it easier just to come in and have a light heart. That's what I'm learning.
Have a light heart. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I like that. All right, so we have Donna Lewis here. She says she has a new kitten, Angel, that loves to play with her phone and her iPad. Oh, you'll have to post pictures, Donna. I want to see your new kitten. Oh no, wait, did you share? She's part of our Sparkles Mod Squad, so she may have shared it in the group. But yeah, that's so cool. Oh, here we go. Bernice says, my 5 year old autistic granddaughter, who is an Aries, has inspired me so much. Even though she is nonverbal, we can communicate. She speaks to my soul through her eyes. Mm. I feel
So
that. I feel that.
cool.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. That's how it that's how it felt with me and baby kitty. Um, you know, you have to learn a whole different way of communicating, you know? You have to grow and evolve with what you have presented yourself by pulling up a new cat or pulling up an autistic daughter. And by the way, today is an Aries moon. So there you go. The moon is in Aries, instinctual. I'm an Aries moon, so. And what is your moon sign?
I'm a Leo moon.
That's right, a fire. We're both fire moons. That's why we're getting
Hmm.
along so well. And your
Hmm.
rising is, so your Virgo sun, Leo moon, and your rising is Libra. Did you say Libra?
Hmm.
Uh huh.
Yes.
That's why you're
Hmm.
balanced. But you're also going through it because you got that South karmic node of a fate there in Libra until next year. So that's been going
Yeah.
on for 18 months. It's an 18-month cycle, and we're about I'd probably say 7 8 months out before it switches, and it'll go back into
Woo!
it's going to go in Pisces and Virgo.
It's been many tower moments. It feels like I keep building my little, my little castle, and then bam, doo doo doo, bam, doo doo doo. But I like that because I can handle it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know that it's not been easy for many, and so we're all, you know, kind of in that same boat, kind of in that, you know, what's going to happen next. And I feel like it's so important that, you know, if you're just taking small little day to day steps, what is your morning routine like when you get up first thing in the morning? What is it? What do you do to set your day? Being a Virgo, you probably have some wisdom.
Being a Virgo, yeah. It's pretty much the same every day. I like to scrape my tongue off because you have to get all that ick off your tongue. It's detoxing during the nighttime, so you
Yeah.
really just want to get that off. So Virgo of me. I drink salt water, so I put a bunch of sea salt in some water. I'll wait an hour before I let any caffeine in, and I'll either listen to Louise Hay has some kind of like neuro linguistic affirmations that I like to run through, or I'll do Wayne Dyer. Someone just really homey and like hug feeling. Uh, because I know that the most important thing for me at the beginning of the day is to fill up my vortex, which I love to do the Abraham Hicks rampaging as well. Um, yeah, it's really just about connecting to spirit, thanking the
Mm-hmm.
directions, thanking God I'm alive,
Mm-hmm.
and getting energy moving through my body, walking the dogs,
Mm-hmm.
um, seeing how long I can take that, you know, even before I open my eyes. You know, you wake up before you open your eyes, seeing if I can connect and just hold that golden light, and how long, you know, and then can we continue that and keep building on that every day. But
Man.
obviously that's not every day. However, very consistent.
Yes, yes. Well, this has been a pleasure. I'm so happy that you came and hang. I mean, those are some really great tips. I'm sure everybody has learned so much from your amazing channeling, and you're just beautiful. And thank you for being here today. Okay, I'm gonna throw you backstage. Everybody say thank you for
All
being
right.
here. All right.
Thank you guys.
And
Love
you'll
you.
come back. You'll come back sometime soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. We'll have Jess Black
Sure.
back, and her information's down below. Oh my goodness, that was so amazing. Thank you guys for all being here. This has just been lovely. It's been a light frequency convo, and that's what these are about. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I see you there. You guys are awesome. And everybody on the replay, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if something resonated with you. Let us know how you felt with this little show that we put together for you guys. Thank you, Kelsey. You rock. All right, guys. Remember, I'll be back next Tuesday. We'll be talking about the Cancer new moon. And Saturn goes retrograde tomorrow. So try if you can to, even though you may have some kind of like instinctual things to go out and do things because of this Aries moon, this fire moon wanting you to move, really tune in to the ancient self of Saturn. Saturn is that ancient, most ancient wisdom. Tap into that tomorrow and really give him some guidance as to how you are going to move through the next 5 months as Saturn goes retrograde in Pisces. All right. This has been lovely. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Love you so much. See you on Tuesday. Walk in the light and spread the sparkle.